CYDA Chats. Britt Wilson on the Royal Commission in Ending Segregated Education.
So I'm Britt. I usually have pronouns. I'm a young 22-year-old that's been working with CYDA on and off for about 3 years.
Last year, you gave evidence at the Disability Royal Commission. What made you decide to do this?
Because my little brother, I suffered a bit, but he suffered a lot. And the big sister in me just couldn't really deal with that, and I had to do something with it.
What was it actually like going to a Royal Commission?
It was intimidating, I'm not going to lie. It was scary, but it was also very empowering to be able to stand up there and tell my story. There was therapy dogs that were meant to sit with you through you giving evidence. My therapy dog was called Valiant. He abandoned me mid-presentation. He was not very valiant.
You gave evidence about your years in school. Can you tell us a bit about that time?
The most heartbreaking part about it was that it was never the students that were my issue. Because we talk about bullies and we talk about how kids can be so cruel. We talk about how we want to protect the disabled students from the bullies. My teachers were the biggest hurdle. Their assumptions of me were the biggest hurdle. Their lack of accommodating me. That's what broke me. My peers were my biggest advocates. Even the bullies would stand up and be like, hey, that's not right. Which is extremely sad.
You also spoke about segregated learning spaces. What are these?
The segregated learning spaces are where you're kept away from your peers. You're not socializing with your peers. Sometimes they can be really babyfied and infantilized. Some of mine made me, rather than sitting in class doing my maths, they made me sit there and rip paper. These centres are meant to provide a sense of support and community for the disabled young person within mainstream education, but what they don't realise is that they're actually not providing that.
How does segregated learning affect young people with disability?
Their social interaction plummets, their confidence plummet outside of those spaces. They almost become reliant because they don't know anything else. Which I know having a safe haven is great, but when that safe haven is damaging those vital parts of your growth, then I don't think they're a safe haven.
How does segregation impact young people with disability beyond school?
Keeping young disabled people in segregated learning sets them up for a segregated life. You're not given the skills that you need to socially participate in mainstream community or education. So then you go into segregated housing because you don't have the the tools you need to go anywhere else. Then you head off into day programs rather than work. Or if you're lucky, you get to go into some of those cool work ideas where you get paid $2 an hour. And you're excited about that because you don't know that that's not okay.
The Disability Royal Commission called for an end to segregated education. Why is this important?
Nothing in life should be segregated. We're a community. If we're going to be a community, we need to learn and grow up together as a community. So why can't we just pool the resources that we have, put them all together into one system? It's not only better for us, but it's better for the able-bodied students too.
Do you believe the system will change?
There has to be a way that it can be done. And I know that there should be. It's whether they will and whether they deem it worth it. Continued advocacy and keep pushing is how we get things done. We're getting there. Even if it's going to be keep battling, we're getting there.